Could you let us know what kind of innovation arc the company goes through, from a product line goes through? As an entrepreneur founder, you have to strike a balance between R&D and commercialization. How do you come up with these formulations quickly? How do you go? What are your clinical trials like? What is your study like? How do you take them to market, mainstream it, and start seeing the revenues and the cash flow?
So for us, Juicy Chemistry, we didn't have like a benchmark, right? Because essentially, like you said, Vaishnavi, we were category creators in that sense, right? Because nobody was doing organic as a way of delivering nutrients to the skin and hair on application, right? So that's when we came in and said, listen, yes, it's natural and organic, but so what? So what if it's natural and organic? Does it work? The question that we asked ourselves was, will it help solve a concern? Right? It could be natural, it could be organic, but if it doesn't work for me, or it doesn't work, what it's supposed to do, and if it doesn't do that, what good is it, even if it's natural and organic? So formulations is something where my heart lied, but Mega really helped narrow down in terms of the research, in terms of understanding those nutrients, in understanding which plant profiles do we want to work with, for us to even start looking at what we wanted to do. We didn't have a benchmark of who to look up to and say, listen, ye emulate karte hain, ya fir ye direction mein jate hain, right? So it was a lot of trial and error in the beginning. We used to stand behind 500 rupee stalls, Sunday markets, try and sample the products out that we used to make in our kitchen, just to get feedback. And then we started, eliminating things that we wanted to correct.
Post-COVID, I have seen a lot of D2C brands pop up. So if somebody like that watching our podcast today wants to understand, okay, now I am doing stuff from my kitchen. Now, how do I formalize the entire process? Right. How do I get, say, certifications, or how do I clinically get it tested? What do I need?
To get off the ground.
Because you've walked that journey from home kitchen to a certified company today. So how tell us a little bit about that.
We started off with nothing in terms of capital investment, but it was more of a passion-driven project, personal project that we wanted to actually delve into. But like you said, that also has a journey of the product itself, right? First, you need to actually be registered with the authorities for it to be actually a sellable product. First, there are two lines of certifications that you can take to formalize this business first, in order to be able to sell a personal care or a cosmetic product. Right? One is the Drug and Cosmetics Authority of India, and the other is the Ayush. That's where predominantly all the Ayurvedic or the natural formulations also can go there and get certified.
So this is like an FSSAI equivalent for
food.
FSAI is for food, but
equivalent
for beauty and
personal care, right? So unless and until you have a license because this is something that you are claiming that the consumer will use and beautify in the right sense of it, beautify the product or alter first before the product itself. First, you need to show that you have the manufacturing capabilities to produce that product. I have to have 1,000 square feet of place basically required to actually manufacture soaps. That's a minimum requirement, 100 square meters. And if you want to produce oil or a hair oil or anything in that category, you need another 10 square meters. If you're doing lip balms, if you're doing creams, that's another 10 square meters. Now, and you need a lab, and you need people to be qualified to operate that lab. You need a chemist on board. And all of these things are actually initial requirements. Government has provisions within this law where you can go to a manufacturer and say, listen, this is my formula. I think this is what I want to launch, and because you have a manufacturing facility and a spare capacity available, will you manufacture this for me?
So it's like
under your license.
Outsourced manufacturing.
It's called a loan license. Right? It's a loan license where you loan the license from a manufacturer and say, listen, because you have the stirrers, you have the measuring equipments, you have chemists on board, and you basically comply with all the rules and regulations, which is quite a lot, according to the Drugs and Cosmetic Authority.
So what are the schemes? What are these? Where are these bodies located? How do you find them online? How do you go in person?
These are available in every state. Every state has Drug and Cosmetic Licensing Authority. You just approach them, and they're absolutely super helpful in terms of guiding you on how you should go about it. And then once the product is there, obviously there are compliance about claims, about what you can claim on the product, how the ingredients should be listed, what is the process of manufacturing that you actually did, what were the tests that you can actually conduct on this product for it to be shelf ready. In fact, a lot of the D2C companies today don't have their own manufacturing facilities at all. They focus on formulations, and they focus on what they need to do in terms of product branding, social media, and all of those aspects of the business. Juicy Chemistry as a brand, because we still can't go anywhere else because we own a lot of the IP of the fine formulations we do. We don't have actually the luxury of actually going outside and outsourcing our ingredients. Juicy Chemistry not only manufactures over 150 SKUs, but we work with over 550 ingredients, out of which almost 20% of the ingredients are sourced from around the world.
Curious to know more? Watch the complete video on our channel.